Hello everyone, I am Aruna Punna, నేను మీ Botany lecturer. తెలంగాణ స్టేట్ లో ఈ సంవత్సరం జరిగేటటువంటి ఇంటర్మీడియట్ పబ్లిక్ ఎగ్జామినేషన్స్ లో Botany ఫస్ట్ ఇయర్ లో వచ్చేటటువంటి ముఖ్యమైన 4 మార్కుల ప్రశ్న జవాబును నేను మీకు ఈ వీడియో క్లాస్ లో వివరిస్తాను. Topic పేరు Aestivation. On Aestivation topic in the examination you will get the question like this. The flower of many angiospermic plants which show sepals and petals differ with respect to the arrangement of sepals and petals in respective whorls. Explain. If you get this question, then you have to write the answer in this way. In the description, you have to write about valvate, twisted, imbricate, and vexillary type of aestivations. To this description, you will get 3 marks. And by drawing these diagrams, you will get 1 mark. These diagrams only you have to draw. No need to draw these diagrams. These diagrams only I have given for understanding. And at the same time, you have to write labeling. Now I start the explanation of aestivation. So what is aestivation? Usually flowers are before opening, they are in bud stage. So in the floral bud, the mode of arrangement of sepals and petals, you can call it as aestivation. Aestivations are 4 types: valvate aestivation, twisted aestivation, imbricate aestivation, and the last one vexillary aestivation. One by one I will explain you. Now the first one is valvate aestivation. The best example is calotropis. Calotropis means in Telugu jilledu chettu. So this is the flower of jilledu. What is valvate aestivation? When sepals or petals in a whorl. In a whorl means in the diagram you can see the petals are arranged in a circle, or you can call it as whorl. These sepals and petals just they touch one another at the margins without overlap. For example, just imagine this is one sepal or petal. This is another sepal or petal. So here each petal has 2 margins. This is one margin, this is another margin. The 2 petals or 2 sepals are arranged side by side. They may touch or not, but there is no overlapping like. In the diagram also you can see clearly in calotropis, 5 petals are there. All these 5 petals are arranged side by side only. There is no overlapping. In the diagrammatic representation also you can see clear view of no overlapping. This is the diagram of only the arrangement of margins of sepals or petals. In the examination you can draw this diagram only. No need to draw this diagram. Next, the second one is twisted aestivation. The best example is cotton. This is the cotton flower. Twisted aestivation means the margins of sepals or petals overlaps the next one and so on. That means in the cotton flower you can see 5 petals are present. So here you can see the overlap. This is one petal, this is another petal. Just imagine. Overlapping means one petal is overlapped by other like this. So what happens? Due to this overlap, this margin is inside and this margin is outside like this. So in overlapping, so in twisted aestivation, usually due to overlapping of sepals or petals one another, one margin is inside and one margin is outside like this. So this margin is outside and this is inside because this margin is overlapped by the next one. So this margin is inside because this margin is overlapped by this one. So this is outside. So this is inside, this is outside. This is inside, this is outside. This is inside. This is the diagrammatic representation of twisted aestivation. In this also you can see clearly outside and inside, outside and inside, outside and inside like this. It continues. This is the diagrammatic representation of just arrangement of sepals or petals margins only. This diagram is enough to draw the examination. No need to draw this diagram. Each petal has 2 margins. One is inside and one is outside like this. In, out. This in and this is out. This in, this is in and this. In this way overlapping continues by one another. The third aestivation is imbricate aestivation. The best example is cassia. In Telugu tangedu chettu. This is tangedu chettu flower. In imbricate aestivation also you can see the margins of sepals or petals overlapping by one another but without particular direction. This petal has 2 margins. 2 margins are completely inside. Here you can see these 2 margins overlap by the next petals. Here this petal is equal to this one. This one. 2 margins are completely inside. Here also 2 margins are completely inside. And here you can see the bottom one. Here the 2 margins are completely outside because this margin is inside. That means this petal is overlapped by this petal. Here also this margin is completely outside. So this petal is equal to this one. 2 margins are completely outside. So this petal is equal to this one. 2 margins are completely outside. And the remain 3 petals, 1, 2 and 3. In the diagram also you can see clearly this margin is outside and this margin is inside. This margin is outside and this is inside. This margin is outside and this margin is inside. So the 3 petals margins are, one is in and out. This is outside and this is inside. This is outside and this is inside. Here also you can see this is out in, out, and in. This is the diagrammatic representation of only the arrangement of sepals or petals margins only. This diagram is enough to draw in the examination. No need to draw this diagram. This diagram only for understanding I have given. And the last one, vexillary type of aestivation. The best example is pea flower. Just before going to explanation, you have to know what is anterior and posterior side of flower. So in the diagram, you can see this is inflorescence axis, the small leaf-like structure called bract. So here I will draw the diagram clearly. So between axis and bract, flower is present. This is flower. So when you take half part of flower, the half portion which is located towards axis, this half region you can call as posterior side, and the remaining half region which is located towards bract, we can call it as the anterior side. Now we have understood what is the posterior and anterior of flower. Now I explain about vexillary aestivation. In pea flower, usually 5 petals are present. Out of 5 petals, one is the largest petal called standard petal. This standard petal located towards posterior side. So this is posterior side. This is anterior side because bract is present towards this side. The largest standard petal usually overlap the 2 lateral petals. These are the 2 lateral petals. So in the diagrammatic representation also you can see this is standard petal. Here also this is standard petal. This standard petal overlap the lower somewhat smaller in size. Those are called wings. So these are the lateral petals. Again these 2 lateral petals overlap the next 2 smallest anterior petals called keel petals. These 2 petals are usually fused. So these are the wings and these are the keel petals which are fused. The vexillary we can see the overlapping usually from posterior to anterior side. So this is posterior, this is anterior. That means towards this side axis is present, towards this side bract is present. In this way in vexillary aestivation we can see the overlapping is from posterior to anterior. That means in a particular direction. I hope you understand well. If you like this video, please share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.